Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, number 67 on the podcast charts, but number 1 in your hearts. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. My name is Harrison Cable, and today we have the international man of mystery, the one, the only, Erkin Hassan. He is joining us once again from Manchester in England, and he is, it's an early morning there, Sunday morning for you. We've just seen the Champions League final. Your team, which is proudly displayed behind you, the Arsenal Gunners, were eliminated in the final semi-finals and lost to the eventual winners, PSG. I wanted to kick us off. I know this is a sneaker podcast, but I wanted to kick us off a little bit with how do you feel about your Arsenal season so far, or now that it's finished, and do you have any hope for the future?
Well, thank you, bro, for the cool intro. It's nice to be back. Arsenal, man. It's kind of like the abusive partner. You know, I don't want to start off like that, but it's like the one you keep going back to, but they're not good for you, man. But no, Arsenal, obviously, I'd never stop supporting them. I just feel like we're on the brink, you know. I know it's like that false hope. We're on the brink of success and a major trophy at that. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like the stars haven't aligned. And I think Arsenal are the biggest club to get the most banter. You know, like Spurs fans, Chelsea, like United, Manchester United and stuff. For some reason, even if their team win, we're getting the banter for something. Like it's weird.
I feel you.
But yeah, Tottenham winning a major European trophy didn't help the cause this season. Disappointing overall, but in terms of Champions League, personally, I think PSG deserved it, man. Ever since January, because we did beat them earlier on in the season in Champions League, but yeah, they just look too good. You know, like fresh legs. They made the right signings in January. Not to make this too much about football, but yeah, I'm hopeful for the season coming up, man. If we get the right players in, I'm fingers, toes, and everything crossed, bro. That's all I'm gonna.
Yep. Hopefully you have a good summer, and hope springs eternal in spring coming up, in autumn when it kind of gets a bit cooler for you guys, when the season will start up again in September, I believe, is when the Premier League season starts. Myself, as a somewhat casual Chelsea fan, I was sort of happy to see them win the Conference League, which now makes them the only team to win all 3 European trophies. I don't know if that's a good accomplishment, but it is what it is. We finished 4th, better than the last season, a little bit of improvement. But a comparison that I see for Arsenal, just talking about sports, is the team that I've got on my head right now. They're called the Brisbane Lions. They're my hometown AFL team, and they actually have a very similar trajectory that Arsenal have. They were a young team about 5 years ago, and they broke into the top of the table, and then they lost in the finals 4 straight years. Like, they got to the semi-finals, they got to the close knockout stages, and then last year they won the whole thing. So there was a few years where a few people had given up on the coach. People were asking for the coach to be fired. And they were being like, should we start rebuilding again? And no, you just got to kind of keep pounding the rock, is what they said. And I think that's kind of where Arsenal is. You just got to stick with it, keep going, and you'll be fine. If you can take something from that story, hopefully that gives you some sort of solace. I mean, does it?
Look, I'm one of those Arsenal fans. Like, there are some out there that are calling for the manager's head and stuff, but I'm like, no, look where he's taken us. It's only a matter of time before he gets that bit of silverware success. And then, because we finished second 3 years in a row. But by one of the greatest football teams ever in history. Man City with Pep Guardiola and stuff. Liverpool weren't the best this season. Like, they weren't great, but they were the best out of the bad bunch, because everyone was terrible this season. So that's why it's even more disappointing. But yeah, man, for me, like you said, just keep going. And Arsenal, Arteta, if you're listening, just keep pounding that rock, bro. Pause.
Well, I can see now why one of your shows is called The Weekly Waffle, because we can tend to diverge and divert from our course. And of course, if you did want to see any of Erkin's content, his Instagram, YouTube, podcast, etc., all those links will be linked down below, so you can go and check him out. Does some awesome podcasts with a couple of other guys, some live streams, so go check him out. But we're here to talk about some sneakers, and we're going to start off with some of our I guess, top 5 pickups of the year. We're also going to talk about top 5 kind of drops that we've kind of seen this year. These might not necessarily be the ones that we actually have, but it might be the ones that we're the most excited about for the year. So this is what has happened, not really one that's coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but these are the ones that we kind of have right now. And I guess I'll start us off with my number 1 pickup of the year so far. Again, we're recording this on the 1st of June, so we're 5 months through the year, so there's still a lot of year left. But so far, I think run like at the top right now has to be the Bike Air, the Jordan 4 Nigel Sylvester. It's just the white laces, the red hits. Like it's actually much more comfortable than like a regular kind of GR SB. I like the padding on the inside. I've worn them for at least, I would say, probably 20 hours so far, and they've probably been the most comfortable 4s I've worn so far. Maybe besides the SB 4s, the pine green 4s. So take that as you will, but that's definitely probably like my number 1 pickup so far this year. What do you think? I think you've already got
Yeah, I
this one
mean,
as well.
I do. Yeah, I'll pull it out.
Yeah.
Funny enough, it's not my number 1,
Yeah.
but it's only because I'm an Air Max guy. Like spoiler alert, obviously. It's just I, I can't explain it, man. It's just one of them shoes that you're gonna look back and be like, wow, what a moment, what a drop. And I think the last episode we did, we were both like, we've taken L's, we're not looking to get them. It's like, whatever, it's kind of past. And now we both got them in hand.
Yeah.
I won a late raffle as well, traveled all the way down to London, which is where I'm originally from. It was like a 4-hour drive each way.
Yeah.
Made some content about it, did a vlog and stuff, and it made the pickup that bit sweeter, like
Yeah.
the whole release for me. Still haven't worn them yet, but it's cool, man. Like the tooling's great, the reflective panels on the netting, even where like the sort of throat of the shoe is more squared than like a regular
Yeah.
normal Jordan 4, which is nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, they are way more comfortable. I can vouch for that. So what a pickup. Nigel, keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, he's got a pair of Jordan 1s coming out later in the year, kind of a very black with some cream outsole with like a white sort of mini swoosh on it, which looks really cool. I think they might be also having a high version of that as well. But yeah, that low version looks really, really nice. I think that I got these like on GOAT, so I did pay resale for them, which is a rarity for me. I don't usually pay resale, but again, it's one of those ones that I think if I looked back at the end of the year and I didn't have it, I'd just kind of be kicking myself. I've done that before where I've actually recently, just to divert a bit, I bought I don't know if you saw in the Asics Earls Collection 2160. It was like a cream with brown and green colorway, and it was released last year, and I only just picked them up this week because I kept thinking about them. When you just kind of keep thinking about a shoe and it just keeps coming back to it, and you're like, well, this is a sign that you probably are going to really, really want it and like it. So yeah, this was one of those shoes that was just on my mind all the time, and I got some really good photos out of it. Well, I thought they were good photos, some good videos out of them. And so, yeah, I was very, very happy to have these. And yeah, they're definitely going to be up there when it comes to like end of year lists and such. So that's my number 1. That's your number 1. Not number 1's like in ranking, but number 1 on this list. Number 2 for me is definitely the 992 Joe Freshgoods. I'm a big New Balance guy. I love the 992, the way it's come back this year. I love what Joe Freshgoods did with his first pair, the Anatomy of a Heart pair, and this Aged Well pair is such a good follow-up. You got a ton of different laces. Man, the comfort, the premium suedes, it's all amazing. Like it's so versatile. You can wear it with pretty much any sort of fit. It stands out, and yet it's muted at the same time. It's just an all-around winning shoe, and yeah, I'm so happy I grabbed these. And the way that I picked them up, if anyone doesn't know, I kind of struck out on all these different raffles, and then my friend bought them for me in store and shipped them to me the next day. So they were the last pair available. So it's kind of got a good story of how you pick them up. That kind of adds to the lore of the shoe at the same time. So what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I love it, man. It was kind of a weird release over here because they did sell out, but in stores they had pairs. So it was kind of like, if you really wanted to go and get them in the store, you can. A lot of people did. Like a lot of people paid the retail price wasn't cheap, but
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
one of them great pairs, man. From New Balance, Joe Freshgoods. He's one of the reasons why New Balance is where they are today.
For sure.
One of the first sort of collaborators, along with ALD and Salehi. But yeah, great pair. Kind of a great spin on what the first pair would
Yeah.
age like. Like it's really
Yeah.
done well, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The details on it, the different textures, the different materials, the leather, the different suedes, the different colors, lots of different lace options. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a shoe that I'm very happy to wear and have in my collection for a very long time. It's one of those like never going to sell type of shoes. You know, never even going to
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah.
Like that's not even in the question. So that would be kind of my number two of the pickups this year. What would you
Yeah.
consider kind of another great pickup that you've gotten so far?
You know, I'll give you my number one straight away.
Okay.
It's got to be the neons for
Yeah.
me.
The
OG
2025
neon.
version.
Yeah, the
Yep.
big bubble BBL treatment. You
Hmm.
got it there. You know, big bubble. So comfortable. The toe box is wider as well. A lot of people have a problem with 95s, with the pinky toes and everything else. But this one, I don't know if you can tell on camera, it's a lot wider
Yep.
than your conventional. It's more circular as well.
Yep.
It's a bit more rounded.
Okay.
And paid resale is kind of one of those things I prepared for. Like, and it was so limited over here. I don't know about over there in Australia, bro, but in the UK, I think JD Sports had it, but you had to really be on job, be at the store
Hmm.
early, camp out overnight, kind of thing, get a ticket, all that stuff. Online was a total myth. Um, but yeah, look, it's one of them shoes that I sold shoes for to make room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is one of my grails, my first neon, official neon. I've had different neon 95s before, but this for me is probably top two Air Max of all time, along with the 90 infrared, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is great, bro. What did you think about the 2025 release? Because I know you picked up the 2020 pair, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I got the 2020 pair slightly used because there was no official release of that 2025 version at that time, which was about a month
Uh,
ago. But they did release probably about I think 150 pairs in one store. It was called the store was called Up There Store, which is a kind of somewhat famous Australian boutique. They had like 150 to 200 pairs, and they released online, and yeah, obviously gone in an instant. So I was kind of like, there are a couple of other colorways which we'll talk about a little bit later. The Mandarin pair is one that I really love.
oh yeah,
So I think that yeah, there was really not much hope of getting the OG Neon pair. There was only a very small release here, so wasn't much luck with those ones. But yeah, I love the way that I actually really like the way the thing that I love. If I can try and no, I don't have a photo of it, but you know at the bottom of it, how it's got the lowest layer of the gradient goes all the way
Mhm.
along the shoe. That little
Like up
detail,
here, you mean?
like just on the lowest layer on the like the kind of darkest leather in the gradient, you got
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
darkest
yeah, yeah,
leather.
yeah,
Instead of just cutting off kind of at the middle part, it goes all the way along the shoe, which
all
I
the
think
way.
is yeah, I think is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah.
just the big bubble as well. Like I'm very keen to get a big bubble pair so I can kind of feel the difference between the two. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, love that one. That's definitely going to be in the kind of top drops of the year so far. And it's one that I hope that Nike keeps bringing back some of those 95 pairs, which they actually are, like the SB pairs. We saw some photos of. Um,
Oh yeah,
the SB
yeah.
95 pairs. Those ones are really nice. But there, that's a super solid pickup. And I know you've got a couple more 95s to show us in a little bit. But we'll move on to my number three, which was the SB Yuto Horigome, a follow up to his first pair, which was the grey pair. The Nike SB, you got three different lace options, but I still love these green laces. You got the kind of Yuto thing on the top there. You got the Nike. You got the custom kind of insole. You got the very nice suede around the back panel as well. His logo, as you can kind of see there, just all the little tiny details, just the speckling, the suede. It's awesome, and it's actually very comfortable. SBs often aren't renowned for their comfort, but man, these are really comfortable. I know your mate Hass. I'm assuming he's probably picked up a pair, and I wonder if I'd hope that he has the same experience that I had. That they're very comfortable, and I love green as well. Like I said, green, orange, two of my favorite colors. Like just the way these two kind of go together. Just looking at them,
Mm,
it looks so cool.
yeah,
So I love that pair. What did you think of this one?
yeah. It's a great pair, bro. Like it's kind of one of the only SB dunks I was actually considering buying. Like I've never had an SB dunk, and I know that's blasphemous to the sneaker world, sneaker community, but it's just I don't know. There's always been something about the tongue that's put me off, but over time, the baggier clothes you wear, the fits that change, as you
Yeah.
evolve in your taste and stuff, the tongue doesn't bother me as much as it used to.
Mm.
It's kind of one of the reasons why sometimes anyway, the SB Dunk is comfortable,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great pair. I think they're called, is it the matcha or
Matcha,
asparagus? One of
yeah.
the
Matcha. I think
matcha,
an
that's
early
it.
name was the asparagus, but it definitely, because he's Japanese, it should be the matcha pear, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
would
yeah,
make
the
sense.
tongue actually isn't as thick as other SP pairs that I've had. Like, it's still thick, don't get me wrong. It's still plush, but it's not as thick. I think they've kind of
Mm,
realized that sometimes the tongue is a little bit too thick on some of these pairs, but
yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
it's still very comfortable, and yeah, keen to wear these a lot this year. That's a very nice one. What's another one that you wanted to show off so far? Because man, you got a lot to show off. If anyone follows Erkin on Instagram or YouTube, you see some of the pickups he's got. Man, damn.
Oh man, it's good, but it's not good for the bank account. But yes, speaking of the SB themes, we'll,
Yeah,
we'll go with the
yeah,
navy Jordan
nice.
4. I mean, I want to say people slept on this because like you could really well easily get your hands on a pair if you wanted to. There was a
Yeah,
lot of restocks, a lot of retailers getting them late. Even sneakers over here did get a restock. Yeah, it's kind of one of those shoes that was sort of disregarded because of the pine greens. It's like, oh, the
yeah,
OG is better. Why did they do this? It's not too different. So what's the point getting them? But
mm,
someone that didn't get the pine greens,
mm,
and I love navy anyway. Like it's one of the most wearable colorways. Even though it's mostly white. Yeah, it's the shoe that I wore to pick up another shoe on this list. So it kind of means more
yeah,
to me, that remembering that sort of little
yeah,
point in life where you're picking up a certain shoe and stuff. But yeah, very comfortable. It's a Jordan 4, so it's not like top tier comfort, but
yeah,
for a Jordan 4, it's really comfortable. I sort of put these very close to the Nigels. I'm not saying they're more comfortable, but they're very close in that sense. Obviously
yeah,
you got the pine greens, bro, so
yeah.
they're
I'll
near enough the same in that sense.
go back to this one. Yeah, so yeah, you got the pine greens there, and I don't know. I love
Yeah.
green. Like I've said it before, I just love the color. I do love blue as well, but I think that I'm going to stick with the green. If I could find a good price, they are very low on like resale sites. Like they're different. You're right. People did kind of sleep on them, so to speak, because I suppose people
Yeah.
were thinking so much about the SB, the pine greens. But I mean, they're still as clean as you can be. Like you could wear that with anything. What did you think about the red pair? Were you glad that this was, if it was the red pair that released in the higher quantity like the blue did, would you have picked them up?
You know what? That was the colorway I wanted first when I first saw leaked images and whispers about everything. But I'm actually glad they went with these because I think these are just a bit more wearable. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I know red is kind of the OG sort of colorway to Jordan Brand and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just think this works, bro. Like, you can wear it with lighter stuff, obviously darker stuff too.
yeah,
It's a great colorway, but the timing's great too. Like
mm.
normally with Nike, especially over here, you get really bright colors, but in like winter, and it's,
Yeah, yeah,
winter's just started. It's like, nah, this was the right time to come out.
yeah.
And yeah, we got a retail assist from one of the broskies in the Discord that supports the channel heavily. So he hooked it up, man. He got early
Nice,
access, and yeah, this was one of my favorite pairs. To be fair, this year, the
nice.
SB Navies, bro.
Well, the red probably would have fit a little bit better with being an Arsenal fan, right? Like that could have been a good fit. Yeah, SB Reds with the Arsenal jersey.
That's true.
That could have been a good
That's
fit.
true.
But no, I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
respect that. And then I think um, I might want to get one of those when it comes to later on in the year. I think it kind of is in the same sort of realm as the maybe a little bit below, but I think at the end of the year I'm going to be like I probably should have picked that one up. And I think that with the prices
Mm.
kind of sitting where they are, I might actually just have to do that. Not the last one, sorry, the second last one that I will chat about is another New Balance. It's a little bit of kind of a different one than what we've been talking about. Is the loafer. It's the New Balance suede loafer in the rich oak colorway. Now this one is a head turner. I know sometimes loud shoes, like even like this is a pretty loud shoe, it turns heads. But man, this I think I get more questions and comments about this shoe or my other and New Balance loafer than any other shoe I wear. Like it's just it's a head turner. It's kind of so unique that people just kind of freak out about it a little bit. They always ask where can I get them, and I kind of have to let them down and say it's sold out, and they sell out very quickly whenever they do release. But yeah, I just love they released in two. They had a black suede pair and a brown suede, and I just love this brown suede. It's just, I don't know, any sort of fancy event that I have to go to, these are the ones I just immediately grab. Super comfy, super classy, just overall amazing. Little tiny New Balance logo on the side there. Premium suede, just yeah, as good as you can get. What did you think about these ones?
Man, the loafers, bro, they, they swayed me. Like, I'm not gonna bash it because I did initially thinking, what were they thinking? And stuff. But you know what? New Balance have sort of set trends because we've seen other brands try
Yeah,
and dive into the loafer space. But I think seeing them on feet, like with you, I think Eric as well, Guy and Kicks, you had him on here
yeah,
previously.
yeah,
Um, he's rocked them really well too. Like you both have kind of swayed me thinking, oh, can I pull them off? But I know I just can't. It's one of those shoes that I really like it for a smart event or smart casual stuff,
yeah,
like great, and New
yeah.
Balance for me is the best in terms of suede. And it looks like it's the same thing with the 1906 Ls.
Hmm.
But yeah, great pickup, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
if you can style them, great. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
don't think I can pull it off. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I think that it's great for like office workers. If you had to work in an
Mm,
office but you still want comfort, like you have to walk in the city, perfect, absolutely perfect shoe.
yeah.
That's great for that. But what was your kind of, I suppose, fourth one in this kind of run of top five pickups we've got so far this year?
Well, keep getting the white cements, man.
Oh,
It's one of them weird releases again. Like so many pairs are still sat over here, and you wouldn't have thought
yeah,
maybe 3 years ago, 3 years ago, that a white cement would be sitting this easy to get. A lot of
yeah,
people doubled up. I've got another pair coming in, just to compare the QC and stuff,
yeah,
which is another reason why people have been put off because the QC is not great. The leathers, it's it's like plastic, like a lot of Jordans, but it's just the colorway, bro. Like this is my favorite Jordan 4 of all time and best, like best Jordan 4 I've never had, basically.
yeah,
And this is the first time having it. Obviously, picking them up from Offspring, um, which is where I wore the SBs. It's just one of them all-round great shoes you can wear and not think too much about.
yeah,
Like it's white, it's black. Obviously, the cement splatter and stuff. Nike Air at the back too.
yeah.
Um, it's just one of the best OG shoes of all time.
Hmm.
Probably top 5, top 10 for a lot of people. Where did you sit with these, bro? Did you go for them? Did they release over there or?
Yep. Oh, they had far out. They had one of the biggest releases I've seen of the year so far. Basically, JD Sports, Foot Locker, all the boutiques, Nike, everywhere, and they some of the places sold out. Obviously, probably had limited quantities, but like they're still on the Nike website. So, I got a pair from the end. Like I entered the end clothing raffle. Um, and I think I lost a couple of raffles as well for some Australian sites, so I'm glad I did. But I mean, even if I did lose the end one, I probably could have got them at this point now. So they'll be coming in soon. I think today, probably tomorrow actually. Sometimes
Hmm.
End is a little bit slow with their shipping to Australia, but it's usually about a week. So that should be coming in pretty soon. But yeah, I'm excited to get those in hand. That's my first white cement. I know a lot of people who passed on them because they already had the 2016 version.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, I'll just stick with that one because they saw what you said, the QC issues. And I've seen a lot of pictures on Reddit where they've got scuff marks, they've got, bubbles in their leather, missed paint, like
Mm,
some of the panels not having any cement splatter, like just straight grey. So obviously, with the amount of pairs that they've made, they're going to have some sort of, you know, mass producing issues, so to speak. But hopefully, the pair that I get is free of all those issues. And if it is, I'll probably just return them
yeah.
and then try and pick them up, probably from the same price, either on resale or probably at one of the boutiques that I'll walk into around my city. So, no, I definitely love them. It's an OG colorway. Some people are posting all of their 1, 2, 3, fours of all the fours that they've got. So I'm a little bit jealous and made me miss picking up the military blues last year. Yeah, definitely love that one. So we'll see where that kind of lands on your top 10 list at the end of the year. It'll probably be up there, right?
Definitely, bro. I
Yeah.
think. I was similar. Like I've got the bread reimagined. I had the military blues, but it was the same issue, man, because the QC, I mean, not the QC is actually all right on that pair, but the quality weren't like my favorite. And I knew the SBs were coming out. So I ended up getting rid of the military blues.
Yeah.
But I've never had this pair like you, bro. And yeah, it's my favorite Jordan of all time. A Jordan 4 of all time. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe top 5 end of the year, but bro, we're only halfway through
Yeah, yeah.
and we could make easily a top 10 already, you know?
We
It's
could.
crazy.
We really could. Well,
Yeah.
one of the shoes that I for sure is going to be in my top 10 is going to be this one. The 990 V6 Amazonia pair from Action Bronson. The incredible colors, the kind of kaleidoscope nature of the shoe, the comfort, incredible. As always with New Balance, 990 V6 is an incredible like silhouette for it in terms of comfort and breathability. It's a great like summer shoe. Like it's kind of released at the wrong time for us here, but I mean we don't get too cold here and it doesn't get too wet, so I'm not worried about kind of getting these too dirty. But yeah, these are another one kind of like the Joe Fresh goods where it's like never going to sell at all. So that's definitely going to be. Yeah, super stoked about these. And I was glad I went for these instead of the untitled pair, which was the predominantly white with leather and a little bit of red and dark blue on those. I'm very glad I grabbed these ones. The white pair, I definitely wasn't feeling them as much. So definitely made the right choice with these one, in my opinion. So what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I really like them, man. I mean, the V6 for me looks so comfortable.
Mm.
It's just the retail price is killing me. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but you're spending £200 on a Jordan 4 or Jordan 3 and stuff. But I don't know. It's just with the V6, I know for me, it will probably end up being like a gym shoe because
Yeah.
of the comfort. And like, I love New Balance. I love the Action Bronson collaborations. But with that collaboration, especially over here, it's touching around £240, which is mental.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they were sitting quite a lot. I think I popped into where did I go in Manchester the other day? I think it was End actually. Anyway, I can't remember, but yeah, they were just sitting along with that. I think it was the avocado pair, the
Yeah, yeah,
V6s.
that's sitting a lot. Yeah, but that's like a general
Really like that.
release. Yeah.
Yeah. Really like that colorway as well. But I think the problem the V6s have is that retail price,
Yeah.
you know. But with New Balance, though, you definitely get what you pay for
Mm.
in terms of QC materials,
Yeah.
comfort, especially, you know.
It's
But yeah, great collaboration, man. Great colorway.
it's close to $400 Australian, so it was 380 plus
Oh,
shipping.
man.
So, like, yeah, and I think that if there are a ton of cool colorways that are on sale right now. Like, you could go and grab a pair of V6s for half that price. It's just simply that these were a collaboration, and it's pretty much the same materials. Like, it's really nothing different when it comes to materials. All of New Balance's 990 V6s are premium materials. It's just that this was a special kind of colorway. But speaking of Action Bronson, a little bit of a, I guess, honorable mention. I finally grabbed these ones like the other day. Finally grabbed the 1906 Medusa Azul pair. These were a resale pair, around about $300 Australian. So what's that? £180, maybe about that. Like just
Must
I
be about that.
think it was
Yeah.
just over retail. But great pair. Probably waited about a year too long to get them, in my opinion. I just had other pairs on the brain. But yeah, just a little shout out to that one. Just speaking of Action Bronson pairs. So very glad to have them.
Yeah.
Now I've got the Rosewater pair. I've got the Medusa Azul pair. Still waiting on a good deal for that Scorpius pair. I don't know if you've seen that pair floating around anywhere for the prices. It's a little bit
God,
ridiculous. So
it's a myth. Yeah, it's a myth.
maybe
Honestly, it's
maybe one
crazy,
day.
man.
Maybe one day. People, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if you said to someone 6 years ago that those prices would be associated with a New Balance shoe, they'd call you crazy, right?
I know. The thing is, it's I want to say the collaborations do play a part, but even like brands like Asics with
Yeah.
say the metallic plum, Joe Channel 14s, they're still hitting resale and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
all these brands, they know what they're doing. Like, because say the Samba, for example,
Yeah.
so many people are wearing them, they're hard to get in certain sizes, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, collaborations, man, it always helps, you know, especially on a colorway like that. My next one though, bro,
Yeah.
last one, isn't it? Yeah, the last one, it's got to be another 95, man. The pink foams, bro, like
Nice.
this, along with the neon, has been one of my like grail 95s. And I know Kim Kardashian, wore them to
Yeah.
popularize them like ages ago.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool, but these have always been a cult classic in the UK, and it has that sort of stigma where it's only a women's shoe, but it's not. Like there's always been men's sizing like way back before.
Yeah.
Great colorway, very wearable, arguably better than the neons in terms of wearability, like
Yeah.
muted pinks, more neutral,
Yeah.
more versatile. Did get the big bubble treatment as well, which is
Yeah.
good. Um, yeah, I love it, man. I think it's one of them sneakers like that was hard to get this year, but I paid resale again, which I weren't too mad at, but it was a lot less
Yeah.
than the neons, thankfully. I think I paid about 220 pound,
Yeah.
which weren't too bad,
Yeah.
considering the market. They're about 250-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the pink phones, bro? Has it been one of them 95 you've liked the look of, or not?
It's barely been seen at all here in Australia. Like it barely got a release. I
Nah.
think it maybe had one, like I spoke about before with the 95 neons. Just like one boutique had a small release, and it's just, I don't know. I'm used to it now, but it's still a little bit disappointing when it's a shoe that you probably would be very interested in getting, and you just kind of have no hope. But there is hope with one of the pairs that's releasing in that kind of big bubble treatment, which is the Mandarin pair. That's having I think that's releasing in 3 different places and the Nike website. So I think that's on the 6th of June. That one's releasing here in Australia. I don't know when that one's coming to you guys or if it already has. I've seen some
Same,
people with
yeah.
them, but same sort of release date. So yeah, a bit more of a worldwide release with that one, which is nice. That's Speaking of drops, that's kind of one of the ones that I would say we were going to talk about our top 5 kind of drops of the year. These might not be shoes that we actually have in hand, but ones that we have seen and been most excited about. And that is definitely one that I've been most excited about, the Mandarin pair. We've spoken about it a lot. I mean, the big bubble, the comfort, the gradient, the OG kind of nature of it, the gray tones mixed with a little bit of accent colors. That's totally my vibe. Is the simple colors with a little bit of pop. That's just totally
Mhm.
me to a T. So I know you've already got 2 of those 95s there, kind of in that OG style. What's your feeling about the Mandarin pair?
Yeah, again, it's I know the 95s are having their 30th anniversary
Yeah,
and stuff, but man, they're getting us by the purse strings. But I think it's a great colorway. I'm just very like nervous again with the release because we're getting
yeah.
a lot of retailers with their raffles. Actually, in Manchester, there's a new JD opening,
Oh yeah.
but it's meant to be the biggest one.
Wow.
Apparently, that's all they've said. It's the biggest one ever. And in the Trafford Centre, it's like a shopping centre here.
Hmm.
It's so long that they boarded it off the whole section that I'm starting to think, could this actually be the biggest ever JD? Like not just in the UK, but
Yeah.
yeah, they've got the release happening on the 7th of June in terms of the JD opening,
Yeah.
but the 6th of June, obviously the Mandarins. So I'm thinking, are they going to do a big release like that and stuff? Yeah, it's a great colorway, bro. I mean, the
Hmm.
orange pop, it's not too much, but it's just enough to be like, oh, what are those? Like
Yeah.
they're clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
OG gradient, big bubble again. I mean, it would be rude not to go for them,
Yeah.
because I got 2 out of the 3 OG sort of
Yeah.
big bubble ones this year. I just hope I can grab them.
Yeah.
Resell, would I go for them? Probably would. I
Yeah.
probably would, man.
Okay.
They're so nice, bro. They are.
Fair enough. Well, that's kind of, I guess, a drop that both of us are excited about, but one that I'm pretty excited about. I don't know if you are because you're not really a huge SB guy, and I did actually pick these up, but I have moved them on. Was the Rodeo SB Dunks. They were the ones that kind of paid homage to like some of the professional bull riders of the like early 1900s. They released in this really nice green called tourmaline color, and they had a couple of extra laces. They had this really cool like almost bandana like kind of dust cloth thing. It was pretty cool, and the materials are great. It's just I don't know the colorway for me. It's not very wearable. I love the story,
Hmm.
but I think the reason why I've kind of moved them on is that I just couldn't see myself wearing them, and there's some other shoes that are coming out that I'm a little bit more excited about. Wanted to use the money from that for those shoes. So I don't know if you saw those rodeo dunks, but what are your thoughts on those ones?
Yeah, Haas, speaking of Haas, obviously earlier, he actually picked these up.
Mm,
He loves them. Obviously, it's kind of one of those art pieces where
mm,
it's not
definitely.
too often you can wear them, but it's a shoe you can really love and appreciate in your collection. I like them. It's kind of like that sort of mint greenish
Mm,
overall aesthetic. Great hits on them. It's just again the SBs. It's just I don't know, man. It's just it has to be the
mm.
right sort of colorway for me to consider them. But again, great hits, great storytelling.
Yeah,
Very different as well.
yeah,
These will be breaking necks if you wore them somewhere.
yeah.
But yeah, great shout, bro.
No, for
Great shout.
sure, for sure. Was there a kind of drop that you were super interested in, but might not have necessarily gone for them or tried to pick them up this year?
Um, well, it's one I tried to get. It was the Union Jordan 1
Yeah,
Shadow or Chicago Shadow.
yeah.
Um,
Shido.
yeah, it was just a
Wow,
myth.
I
Yeah,
haven't heard that
Shadow. That's
before.
what people are calling it.
Ah, yeah, fair.
Um, but yeah, it was a cool release. And again, I kind of went for it, kind not hoping I didn't get them, but kind of going for them, thinking I don't need them because
Mm,
I've got the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Jordan 1.
yeah,
I've got the Lost and Founds as well. And
yeah.
if you're wearing baggy stuff, are you really gonna be able to tell it's that shoe kind of thing?
That's fair. That's a
But
fair
yeah, great
point.
shoe, man. I think the Unions, previous, obviously the fours, the ones,
Hmm.
they've been like grails, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've had an opportunity to get them recently, anyway, from a friend, for retail, and I kind of thought I don't really need them now.
Mm,
Like thinking of all the stuff coming out, 95s, this, all these other pairs, shattered backboards and stuff. I'm just like, do
mm.
you know what? I can hold out, man. It might be a reach back
Yeah.
though. How about you? I know you picked them up, didn't you?
Yeah, they're in one of my display cases right there. So I probably should have grabbed them I didn't realize
It's
I
all
didn't
good.
think we were going to talk about them. But yeah, I don't know what it is about them, but I don't really have a lot of the kind of OG colors of the Jordan ones, so they kind of had this really bright kind of appeal to me. They were super nice. I think the one that is being kind of teased now as well, the kind of fragment with Union Jordan
Oh yeah,
ones,
yeah.
they're getting kind of flamed now. When I say flamed, like they're getting like trash. People are kind of saying that they're looking like almost like a GR colorway. Like, where's the kind of Union fragment flare? It just looks like a blue and black colorway. It's kind of weird. But I think a lot of people had a good reaction to the Chicago Shadows, kind of following up from the black toe ones from previous years. I can't remember, was it 2018 when they released? I think it was around then. So kind of
Around that, yeah.
pre-COVID, and so this was kind of the first one that kind of followed on from that trend, and I think people really reacted to it really well. That was definitely a very very nice one. Another one that I was kind of interested in was one that you actually already have, is the Soul Threes. You didn't put it on your top 5 pickups, but that's one that I have seen a ton of photos of. I've seen a few reviews of it, and obviously it's the 2.0 following on from the 1.0. Which was released, when was it, like 20 years ago? The Seoul Olympics in 2003, and those are like grail level status. Like, can't even get them for less than $1,000,
Mm.
kind of shoes. But man, those are super nice. Like, I hear that the elephant print, kind of the leather, the suede, it's all super premium on those ones. I'm very jealous, and I might try and one day grab those ones because, yeah, it's kind of like the SB4s. It's kind of one of those. I can't see myself at the end of the year not having them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great shoe, man. I'll be honest, bro. I didn't even keep those because I had to make a tough decision out of the
Hmm.
white cements and the soles, and I was like,
Ah,
I can't keep both.
yeah,
Um, was very tempted to keep them. It's just the mandarins again. I'm like, I can't. Like, I just can't
yeah.
do all of them. Um, Great shoe, great details. The age look can be a bit off-putting to people, like the midsole and stuff like
It's
that.
very aged.
Um, yeah, especially that sort of hit on the midsole near the air unit. But overall, it's a great shoe. Like, it's arguably better than the OG because of the box and the
Yeah.
unpackaging experience and stuff like that. The ribbons paying
Mm.
homage to Michael Jordan's, shoulder straps on the Bulls uniform.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I like them, man. I think
Yeah.
the first pair though, I think it came out about 2018. I think so. It weren't
So
too long ago.
it was paying homage to the Seoul Olympics of 2000 and,
Yeah, yeah.
like, no, was it
30 years ago,
1993?
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 30 years. Yeah.
I think it was about 30.
So it was
Yeah, something like that.
1988 Olympics in Seoul,
Yeah, yeah,
and it released in
something like that. Yeah,
2018. That was about the timeline. So kind of the 1.0
yeah.
was an homage to that, and it had, yeah, a little bit more of a white look. It was very clean. It's
It was
very
very plain, yeah,
yeah,
very plain.
and but it only released in the Jordan Soul store, so that's why it was so limited and so like rare to find. Whereas this one had
Mm.
much more of a wider release, like Nike websites, boutiques, and such all over the world. That was yeah, that's one that I'm definitely kind of very interested in. But is there any other drops that you've kind of been super keen on this year as well?
Yeah, I was very close to the Jordan 3 Amamanier diffuse blue.
Mm.
It
Yep.
was again, it fell victim to like the release, with the Amamanier hand wash colds, which I've actually got here. But I was always gonna go for these over those. And
Oh, so
yeah,
jealous.
obviously I love this pair, man. It was the right choice for me. And the threes were kind of a shoe that had a release over here, but I think it was just sneakers. People are still waiting for this pair though.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does happen. But yeah, a lot of people are liking them. A lot of people aren't feeling them because they're too similar to the OG, just with the color sort of swapped
Yeah.
around. I've got a theory though, and I think I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but um, I think what Amamiya are trying to do is go through the OG colorways with the Jordan 3.
Yeah.
So obviously the white cements happened, the first colorway they did.
Yeah.
Then the black cements with the while you were sleeping.
Yep.
Now they got the diffuse blue, which is the true blue. And
Yep.
then who knows, they'll do the fire red, that would make the most sense. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
what did you think? Because obviously you picked them
Yeah.
up.
They got the threes. Kind of yeah, this is the left
Oh,
pair.
so
I,
nice.
I changed the laces. They didn't come with these laces, but I found these laces on like an old pair of New Balances, and I was like, these laces are the exact same color as the kind of midsole there. So I was like, they kind of just fit perfectly. So I've kind of been wearing them with these different laces. Man, these actually surprisingly like. I know kind of we wanted to speak a little bit about content as well. These just blew up for me on Instagram. I don't know why, but these have gotten like sometimes there's like a video that you're just like, why is this getting traction? Like, I don't understand. It's got over like
I know.
53,000 views. And I'm just like, I just get
Wow.
notifications every day of like comments and likes. I'm like, it's just me putting on the pair of shoes. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
Mm.
the algorithm is a wild thing. And it kind of just took off, to be honest. I like the writing on the back heel tab there.
Yeah.
The quilted liner with the and yes sticker, classic, quality. I think this one is a great pair. And you said you're not really a threes guy. I am a very big fan of the threes. There's a couple of threes that I want to get, like we spoke about before. Lucky Shorts, the Rare Air pairs. This was definitely a must-have for me earlier in the year. And I'm very jealous that you've got the 95s. Very jealous. Very jealous, man. Do
Yeah,
they
it's
run?
a clean shoe, man.
Do they run true to size with those ones? Because I know they're leather. You said with the big bubble
Yeah.
ones, they're kind of a bit wider, but are those ones kind of the regular need to go half size up?
So with these, I went true to size with the original
Mm.
while you were sleeping pair, and they're both fine. But
Okay,
I've got narrow feet, bro. I'm not sure how your feet are.
pretty normal.
But yeah. I've got narrow feet. I mean, whatever 95 sizing you go with, bro, I'd just stick to that, to be fair, because
Yeah.
even though they're leather, the materials have thinned down a lot, if that makes
Okay.
sense. There's not
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much on top.
Okay.
But yeah, the only thing you got to be careful of if you do reach back for these is the heel counter, the where the ankle collar is. It kind of pinches into your ankle at first.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, that's
Other
like
than that, it kind of softens up.
the Mister Stash pair. It took like the
Bro.
tongue because of that little stash pocket. That kind of the zipper actually kept digging into my ankle, and took a while for that to kind of wear in a little bit. So those have actually
Mm.
worn in pretty nicely. I've worn them a couple times. I just did like a rotation video of those, wore them for a couple days, and yeah, those have actually worn in pretty nicely. I'm very happy with persisting with those because they definitely. I think last time we spoke, they literally gave me a ingrown toenail because they were so tight. But
Yeah.
because those were a true to size pair, and then the subsequent pairs I've gotten, like the 2020 neons, I went up half a size. So I suppose it's kind of taught me that if you're willing to go true to size, you kind of got to live with that little bit of discomfort at the start for those kind of pairs. But it's good to know that if I try and grab those ones, that I can just go true to size. So that's awesome. One of the pairs that I was pretty excited about, but I did not grab, was actually, it hasn't even released yet, the SB95s. I know we're kind of not really talking about future ones, but just saw a picture of it today, and I just saw that, and I was like, that's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of kind of that reverse gradient, like we spoke about off camera, that reverse gradient, which you kind of liked a lot. It reminds me of that. It's got that really nice fuzzy suede. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to release, but would you be trying to grab those ones? And I don't really know what kind of differences there would be with an SP pair.
Yeah, it's one we've kind of tried to try to dissect on the live streams, and it's how much more can you make the 95 comfortable compared to even the big bubble, you know? But yeah, it's an interesting pair. I think things like the toe box looks mismatched as well in terms of different materials, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
All these little hits. I think the first colorway that we've seen is called Cactus or something like that. It looks really nice, man. The only annoying thing is rumors are it's December release around that time, and that sort of colorway in the UK especially is too late because we want them in the summer, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really cool idea. Hopefully that's not the last colorway they do. I think there's another one as well that they're doing, which is a bit darker. I think it's like a orange and navy, or yellow and orange, something like yellow and navy, sorry, which doesn't look as appealing. But in terms of the tooling, it looks great. The materials look like they're going to hold up, even though it's a lighter colorway. The midsole looks like it has like a gum, you know, on both sides and stuff like that underneath.
Very SP.
Sorry, the outsole.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting pair, bro. I just want to know more, want to see more, and I'm just waiting for one of those Seth Fowler reviews or, you know, wear testers to be like, okay, is that all it is?
Yeah.
But yeah, they look clean, bro. Obviously, I'm thinking of going for them if we can get them, you know.
Yeah. The fuzzy suede is interesting to me. I heard someone have a take about the reverse gradient that you were speaking about before. And it was like, why are we doing that fuzzy suede on an SB? Like, that's not really like it's supposed to be based off a prototype of one of the first shoes ever. And I don't think that prototype had any mention of fuzzy suede, like really thick, long haired suede. Why are we suddenly taking a material that doesn't really belong on a 95 and putting it on one? It kind of felt like an odd decision. I'd have to kind of feel them and see them in hand. I'd like fuzzy suede on shoes, but yeah, I kind of agree that that's a bit of an odd choice. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it works on certain colorways, like the Freddy Krueger 95s.
Yeah,
it works. But again, because it's an SB, should it be done in that way? Because they're meant to be more practical. They're meant to be more, you know, used for skateboarding or whatever, in a sense. But yeah, I think I'm trying not to judge or think too much until I see on feet, you know, pictures and videos properly. And yeah, again, like a review and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks good, bro. It does look good.
Nice. I think we'll there's a couple more. I suppose we're on the theme of 95s, and there's a couple more that I did want to chat about. One of the ones that you actually have and you're wearing the shirt of, the Cortez 95s, was probably one of my favorite kind of drops of the year. Initially, all black shoes is not really my vibe, but I'm seeing some photos. I'm seeing the highlighted little pieces, and it's just the quality of the materials. It just, again, no release here in Australia at all. So it'd have to be a resale pickup. But man, those kind of ones that I looked at from a distance, and I was like, man, I wish I was kind of a part of that whole drop that they had in the UK and New York. So I know you've got them in hand. What's your initial impressions?
Yeah, bro. I want to talk about the release. Like it was a bit of a messy one because I got early access.
Yeah.
And then didn't get the email until like the password until like 5 minutes to the deadline of the early access. But luckily, our Discords had the password way earlier than we should have. So I ended up with 3 pairs, which is nuts. Was meant to get them in the end, so I'm kind of not stuck with them. But do you know what I mean? What size are you, Harrison?
I'm a size 9, but I can go 9.5. US, so 8 UK.
Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I've got 9 UK and 9.5 UK.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have hooked you up, like, you know, live on camera.
Yeah, but, I think that would be like a 10 or a 10.5, which is about a size and a half too big. Which, I mean, there's only so many thick socks you can wear. And what's the what's the saying? It's like
Yeah.
I don't have as a sneakerhead, you don't have a size. You just have kind of how far you're willing to go to make a shoe fit. you know.
It's true.
Um,
You can't have too many ingrained toenails to sacrifice.
yeah. No, that
But
sounds
yeah,
great, man.
they did fit. If you are going for these, obviously resale and stuff, they are very tight. So
Yeah.
I went half a size up, and that's just pushing it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, maybe go half size up to your normal. I think you'll be all right because once the leather beds in and stuff, it's
Yeah.
great. But yeah, they had a lot of pairs going back to the release. They had a lot of pairs, sneakers, and then the actual drop as well beforehand. Was a great shoe, man. I mean, it's all black. Obviously, the hits of that tall yellows is
Hmm.
cool. Like the toggle, I don't know if you've had like a
Yeah.
Cortez 95 before. The toggle's okay. Don't know what to make of it yet though. Um, yeah, it's very like we call people like roadmen,
Hmm.
in the UK. It's like roadman, kind of gangster, how you
Yeah.
how you wear these. But yeah, they're nice, man. I mean, it'll probably be in my top 10 so far, but top five, I don't think
Mm.
so. Because other colorways like the pink foams, a lot of people are pitting these against each other. But yeah, still
Yeah.
cool collab. The rollout's cool as well. I don't know if you saw, he had like
Yeah.
a Nike box pop up in London Bridge.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That's cool.
And yeah, I grabbed the merch as well.
Yeah.
So big fan of the drop.
What did you think about speaking of 95s, the workout 95s, kind of that
Oh
um no, not a fan. Yeah, me either, to be
no,
honest. I'm not a fan. I didn't
my
like
my
I
oh
need a
no.
gradient. I need a gradient style. I need some different materials. Yeah, it's a little bit too off for me. Something just feels off about it, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. 100%. One of my content creating brothers, Sneaker Jossie, he's out in Korea actually.
Yeah.
And he gets all these pairs sort of early. He can go to these pop-ups. Obviously, workout is out there.
Yeah.
Works out is out there. And they had like a cool event where it's like classroom based. You do all these
Mm.
sort of puzzles and stuff. He got like a works out Air Max, sketchbook, pencil, stuff like that. So it was
Hmm.
kind of a cool rollout out there. Um, but I think for the UK, I don't think and obviously Australia, I don't think we'll get the storytelling as much, And I
Yeah.
think for a shoe to change that much with the 95, you have to really
Mm.
buy into the story, and
Yeah.
I just don't think we'll understand it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just too weird for me. The Nike swoosh on the sides, that
Yeah.
sort of crocodile vibe at the back on the heel counter.
Yeah.
It's not for me, bro.
It was a bit off. I don't know. I just think that there's some other better pairs, and obviously the 30-year anniversary. There's a lot of hype around the 95 right now, so I think that was a little bit of a miss. Good swing, but a little bit of a miss for me. I didn't really love that one. I did want to chat about some more, I suppose, pretty recent upcoming shoes. If you're keen to chat about that, one that I know that I'm pretty keen about was the Dodger Blue Kobe 8s. Those ones, man, I'll pop a picture up for you now, but these ones were absolutely awesome. Like, I just love the my favorite thing is the detailed stitching on the top of the tongue, the red stitching up there. Like, I'm a
Mm.
big baseball fan, so kind of these kind of speak to me. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but I'm a big baseball fan, and these kind of spoke to me. These are really cool. I do need to pick up more Kobe's. It's something on my hit list. More Kobe's, more 95s, more SBs in the Nike realm. Obviously, I'm a kind of a big New Balance guy, so kind of want to get some more of those shoes. What did you think about these ones, just from your initial first impression?
Yes, it's a clean colorway, bro. I mean, again with the SBs and stuff, I'm not the biggest Kobe guy. Like it's the heritage. It's obviously what Kobe did with Nike and in his basketball career and stuff. He holds that legacy. But I don't know, man. I'm just not. I've never really been tempted by a Kobe, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. But I appreciate the shoe in the sneaker realm. Like I know why people are drawn to it, and I'm not mad at it. Is this a shoe you would wear for lifestyle, or would you actually go gym or do sports in? What would you think?
Oh, I'd probably just wear it for lifestyle. I don't really play ball anymore.
Yeah.
I'd love the way like Kobe's feel. They're kind of a really good for lifestyle as well as on the court. They're kind of really nice. They're obviously not great for like any sort of hiking or anything like that. They're very much a city lifestyle shoe. And these ones are, such nice quality materials that I wouldn't want to get them too dirty. But yeah, I love these ones. They're so cool. That's definitely one that I think they are releasing a little bit later in Australia than they already have in America. It's kind of interesting. You saw the Rare Air pairs. We were talking about that before. The Rare Air Jordan 3 that released like a month ago in Australia
Yeah,
and in the
yeah,
UK, right? And it
yeah,
only just
exactly.
released yesterday in America. Some of these releases is a bit off this year. I don't know what's going on, but something's happening. Like there's pairs releasing early here, but then super late over there, and then the other way around. I don't know. Something's going on. Any theories about why that's happening?
It is weird, and if I knew, I would have picked up a pair just to review
Yeah,
for the sake of that. But yeah, they're actually on sale here, which is nuts.
yeah,
I think like Foot Locker in the UK they're going for like 150 or something.
yeah, yeah,
And they retail for around 200, I think. Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, it has happened before in the past, like the past couple of years, where we've had early pairs like to 95s and stuff, and then the US get them way later.
yeah,
Even Jordans, to be fair, I think there's been a couple of times where I think, oh, what was it? It was a Jordan 1, I think I picked up. I think it was the Gorge Greens like 3 years ago, 2, 3 years maybe ago, and they released later on in the US. So I thought, you know what, I'll just get them. Kept them anyway. I liked them,
yeah,
and then yeah, got a ton of views off it because it was an early release. It's
yeah.
weird though. It is weird.
I wish I kind of knew that too, because yeah, a lot of our, I suppose, audiences are American, and I think if something over there, like it drives kind of the engagement is the American audience, and I think that's probably something I kind of wish I knew. But anyway, you can't grab them all, and I think that they're still going to be sitting around for anyone who wants to grab one. One of the pairs that I did want to chat about was this Nike DN pair, this Lego. You probably have some thoughts about this one, and I'd love to hear them. My thoughts are kind of it looks cool. It's just something that probably again more of an art piece. I don't know if I'd ever wear this kind of shoe. Like the DN, sorry, the DN is good, but I'm not going to wear an all yellow shoe. Just never, never going to
Mm.
happen.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I
Yeah,
mean, I thought initially it was the DNA because that would make the most sense, like the latest shoe to
yeah,
sell and appeal to like younger audiences and stuff.
yeah,
Um, I know Nike are sort of doing this thing with Lego, and I think they've
yeah.
just released over here a piece with the Nike Dunk. I think it's a white and blue pair. I believe it's Kentucky, the colorway, but yeah, it's cool because it has the Dunk brand in there with the piece, the shoe that you can build up with it all in together, like releasing shoes with the merch as well, which is a great business move. But for sneakerheads, are we really going to be going for them? Like, unless you're a diehard Lego fan or a kid, obviously.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think because it's just like what's that Sesame Street, the Big
Yeah, Big
Birds. I
Bird.
think that's what yeah, just
The
reminds
Big
me of
Bird.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
nah,
fair.
not for me, but I appreciate the branding and stuff.
Yeah, it's a good swing, but yeah, I think that this Lego thing, again, we might not be the target audience. It might be pretty much designed for kids. Is kind of I guess, their theory around this shoe. But that one is releasing soon. We already spoken about this one, which was the Mandarin pair. I think we can kind of go past and move on to this one, which I'm actually pretty excited about. Which I don't know if you're probably not a huge Asics guy, but this was one that I really really liked. This Vandy the Pink Gel Nimbus 10.1, which released in a in-store raffle and an online raffle on their store, and then we'll also have an ASICS release later on in the week. I think later on, I think June 6th is again the release date of those ones on the ASICS website. And man, they came in two different colorways: the yellow pair and a kind of a strawberry pair. It's basically in design in like a banana split pair. Vandy the Pink is kind of an all around kind of art collective, and they have a whole bunch of art pieces where it comes to jackets, it comes to t-shirts, hats, and now shoes. And they've had a couple of other collaborations with Salomon, Asics, and man, I just think that these look sick. I did pick up the yellow pair. Hopefully they will ship. There's been some contention around bots and cancelled orders from early access, so we're going to have to wait and see, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated because I'm super excited to review those ones. But just from your initial thought, what did you think about these ones?
Yeah, just going back to obviously about Asics with me, it's kind of like, well, the Gel Kernel 14 is my most worn shoe of the year. Um, I really like what the brand's doing with all their models. It's just I have a problem with some of their collaborations looking too much like GRs,
Mm.
like the Jowns of this world and Kith and stuff. But collaborations like this, bro,
Yeah.
this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Making it look like a collaboration, make it different, giving people a choice of what colorway to go for, maybe completing the pack if you really want to. Um, I do think the yellow pair is more our vibe, it's a
Mm.
bit less feminine and stuff. Obviously, not saying you can't wear pink. I've got the pink foams after all, but
Mm.
it's just too pink, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like that the yellow, man. I think summer, spring, that kind of vibe is definitely talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool, man. I mean, making it look like a collab for me is the main thing with A6 at the minute,
Yeah.
and they're doing it. They're doing it justice.
Yeah. Nice. And this would be one of the first 10 point Nimbus 10.1, which has kind of been one of their up and coming collaborative colorways and silhouettes in the last couple of years. So obviously the Gel Counter 20, the 14 have kind of been their flagship ones in that sort of sports line. And this kind of is one of the ones that they're trying to push a bit more. And I really like the way that this shoe kind of feels with the collaboration. They've got the fuzzy laces as well. It's basically designed, I think, to have every single piece of the, like a banana split or an ice cream sundae, so to speak. You got the red on the bottom for the cherry. You've got the strawberry ice cream. You got the little cream bits for the banana, and the yellow bits for the banana. All of that, and like the cream bits, I think, are for the waffle. Like the little, what do you call it? Like the little tiny
Oh,
chip,
you mean the spray?
like the waffle chip that you put into it to kind of, I don't know.
Ah,
Some places have that, and also the foil around the banana split is obviously designed to be from the metallic panels on the shoe. So it kind of just has that really nice vibe, and I'm super excited to get them. Hopefully they do. If not, I'll try and go for the strawberry pair that releases on the ASICS website. But
yeah.
man, there's, like we kind of said last time, it's been a crazy year so far already. Like just the top 5 pickups, like we could combine our top 5 and make a very, very solid top 10.
Mhm.
And there's shoes that we didn't even mention. So, I mean, it's been a bit of a crazy, crazy year. And I wanted to ask you kind of as we go to finish, what has been kind of this year for you in terms of content creation? Like, how do you feel like, I suppose, your content's been? Like, how have you kind of kept up? Do you feel like you're not keeping up enough? Are you kind of just in that sweet spot? Like, how do you feel like you're going?
Yeah, man. I think I gave up a long time ago trying to get like the latest and greatest in first and all
Yeah.
of that. Because you know what, bro? As much as obviously the money's great, the brand deals come in a lot better and quicker and stuff. It just gets draining. Like trying to constantly pay above the odds to get an early pair in and then review them, get as much content as you can out. Um, it's a lot,
Mm.
unless you've got a video editor or just like a crew in general.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, I'm a new family man, located up to Manchester the past year or two. To kind of factor in your lifestyle versus your content as well. I
Mm.
think a lot of people don't talk about that because you kind of just see what's on the outside with content creation. And if you're single or, you know, all these things that you don't have to worry about
Mm.
as maybe, a family man and stuff like that, do your thing, like just grind, carry on as much as you can,
Yeah.
which is what I was doing initially in the first couple of years. Now though, I've kind of slowed down a bit, like to my detriment, yes, to the channel's views and stuff, yes, but I'm making content that I enjoy more, like unboxing videos, latest pickups.
Yeah.
I do like more vlogs now, which is what I love,
Mm.
pickup videos and stuff. It's just short form. I'm still trying to keep up with short form. Like I think
Mm.
that's my biggest battle because I love long form. I love podcasts. I love vlogs. I love just people waffling about shoes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And lifestyle videos too. Short form is great, but I think I kind of missed the whole TikTok wave. And
Mm.
Instagram has never been able to keep up with TikTok
Yeah.
until sort of now.
Yeah.
I don't know about you though, bro. I don't know how you find that balance with long form and short form. What's your take on it?
I mean, the reason I started doing a podcast was because I just wanted to chat more long form about sneakers, and I think that creates a good foil for some of the short reviews and unboxings that I've done. I think that I
Yeah.
like doing both. Honestly, the ones that I've kind of not enjoyed a huge amount was some of the reviews, just like sneaker reviews, just because I feel like I'm in between. Like it's too long to be a short, but it's not long enough to really cover everything. And I kind of want to keep it to a tight, like 7-8 minutes, kind of to keep, the viewer retention type of thing. Like if I made a 20-minute video about a shoe review, I don't think people would watch all of it. Whereas a podcast is kind of more of a, you're settling in. You're going to listen while you're doing something. Hopefully people who are listening to this are maybe driving, long drive, doing the dishes, that sort of thing. That's kind of what I envision people listening to this. Sitting down and watching a shoe review, even for me, takes a fair amount of commitment, and I think that doing the short form stuff is pretty cool. It's challenging as in like doing editing, like making it cool and quick transitions and all that. It's kind of challenging. So no, I enjoy doing both of them. But I think I enjoy doing the podcast a little bit more, especially when I have guests like yourself, who it's just super easy to chat to.
Thank you.
No, I do love doing that.
Yeah.
Anything that you kind of want to move into a little bit more coming into the end of the year or even 2026?
I feel like I'm doing it already. Like there's a lot of sneaker festivals or events that are
Yeah.
happening that I've sort of learned how to network more because I never used to really do the in-person, going to sneaker events until recently. I'll be honest, because of work and being just so like gung-ho with working, like grinding and stuff, whether it was content, full-time job and stuff. But going full-time with content, it's kind of like taught me, you know what, this is your bread and butter, bro. Like going to network at events, making content of these events too, because you just never know who's watching. Like the coordinator of the event could be watching you and be like, bro, really like what you've done.
Yeah.
Can you do this for us? Can you make some content for us to promote the event or the brand and stuff? So that's where my head is at. I'm sort of still taking on brand deals and stuff like that, but I'm more cautious now as well. Because we're all a sucker for some money, like in terms of making content and stuff, but you have to be selective because your brand, your reputation is at stake. I've made mistakes in the past where I've promoted like bot technology or bot platforms, and I'm like, bro, why did why did you do that?
Yeah.
The money was great, obviously, but thinking about it now, I would have done things differently. But yeah, going back to your question, just keep doing what I'm doing in terms of going to events, more networking, piecing people together, hopefully picking up a grail or two, and just recording the whole thing. I think we do get sort of misled of like how important documentation is in terms of content, because people, bro, they relate to people's content even if it's going to an event they're interested in, for example. So yeah, I think documenting and vlogging a lot more, and just keep doing different sort of content, man, other than your average review, because I'm kind of not bored of it, but I'm not as excited to do a review as I used to, unless it's a shoe I'm obviously very passionate about, How about you? Where do you see yourself going? Because you're closing in on 5K, aren't you? So that's
I think I
great milestone,
I actually hit it today. I think I got 5,000. Yeah, it's today. So, I mean,
Congrats,
that's
bro.
kind
Congrats.
of, I suppose, a goal that I set a long time ago. Even trying to also get to like 1,000 on Instagram seemed like an impossible task. But yeah, just like you kind of said, like networking, just chatting to people, just being nice, just being yourself, kind of just people creating a bit of a community, which is awesome. So yeah, just kind of pushing more of that content out, like I guess just podcasts as well, trying to keep more, I guess, regular people coming back on. Hopefully people who are watching this enjoy listening to you and enjoy listening to some of the other regular guests that I have on, just, chatting and kind of create a bit of a community around it, sort of thing. So, but also, like you said, sneaker events. There's a couple coming up later on in the year down in Sydney, which is like the biggest city in Australia. And they'll have a couple of events, and there's a bunch of people that I've never met in person. I've only ever spoken to on the internet, and I'd love to meet them in person. So that sort of thing is really exciting. And again, like you said, documenting it all, kind of just, even just if it's with your phone, like a lot of the time people don't care about the quality too much. They just care about you. And I think that's something that I kind of have learned a little bit. I suppose one other thing would be photography. I've always probably been first and foremost a photographer. video is kind of my second thing, I suppose. Photography was always my first passion. So doing more with that, being really inspired by other people on Instagram, like other photographers who just do some awesome stuff. Even guys like, just off the top of the head, Sean Go, awesome reviews. Would love to have him on the podcast one day. Been trying, trust me, but no, not yet. Just those sort of photos, just kind of being a bit more, I guess, getting a shoe and trying to tell a story with a photo is something that I find challenging but also enjoyable. So hopefully I've done some of that this year, and I think hopefully going forward can do some more of that sort of stuff. So that's really exciting. But yeah, do you have any sort of passion for photography? I know you do lots of video, but are you kind of interested in that side of the content?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the opposite to you. Like, I was always video first.
Mm.
Like, I used to do my old reviews or YouTube videos on like an iPad Mini,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
learning how to edit on Microsoft video editor. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's only recently where I've tinkered about with different things, like in terms of photography. I've learned to just use my phone, bro. I think we're so caught up in our cameras and stuff like that, but our phones are top tier in terms of cameras. It's all about
Mm. Mm-hmm.
taking that picture, but
Mm-hmm.
also the editing and stuff like that. That's where I've sort of dived into using like Lightroom and all these sort of like effects, you know, the
Mm.
presets and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something I'm working on. I have been working on the past year or so, like taking different thumbnails, different pictures to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
The carousels as well, they're doing really well in terms of content, like publishing content. But yeah, I think photography for me, it's a lot harder than video. And I know
Mm.
it sounds a bit weird to some, but it just is, man. Because you know, when a certain person has mastered the editing of a
Mm.
photo, you can just tell, yeah, that they like your pictures. I'm just like, bro, that's amazing, you know. But yeah, I'll
Thanks.
get there one day, bro. I will.
Well, it's years. I probably did close to 10 years of photography before I ever started taking photos of sneakers. So it's kind of, I suppose, developing that eye and trying to translate it. I'm still trying to translate it to what looks good. And I think just absorbing a lot of content, like photos of shoes, kind of just helps you. Like, you see something, you're like, oh, okay, that looks good because I've seen it look good somewhere else, and that I can kind of see that working. It's kind
Mm.
of same sort of thing, I suppose, with video. Whatever your background is, your audio. You're like, I've heard this audio be good before, so I know what good audio should sound like. Same sort of thing with photography. So, no, it's
What?
been,
Sorry,
yeah,
Harrison. What camera do you use and stuff? You got like a certain system
S-
you're using, or?
yeah, the Canon 80D with a
Oh, okay, okay.
so it's a 17 to 40 f4 lens and also a 51.2 lens. So one with
Okay.
a kind of one more of a stock standard with a little bit of variable zoom, and then one prime lens with a very large capacity for aperture, which gives you better depth of field. So just a couple of setups, and obviously lighting plays a big part in photography. Sometimes people would say the best lighting setups, and like you said, take a photo with your phone with a good lighting setup. It looks better than anything that a top tier camera can take with crappy lighting. So
Yeah,
that's a
exactly,
good point.
exactly.
That's a really good point. But yeah, I've enjoyed. Also, I like got a new phone. We were talking about this before. The S24 photos on it are incredible. Like all of my photos, I feel like I've gone to the next level just because of the phone. Like yeah, I can't remember any of the photos I took before. But yeah, the editing, of course, all of it's kind of really enjoyable. And yeah, I'm glad that you've kind of have found your niche and found something that you enjoy. That's really cool. I suppose we're kind of at a good place to wrap it up if you're happy with that, man. Like we're gone pretty far into this, and I hope that people have been engaging, and still stay listening. I hope that we've kind of led you on a good sneaker journey of the last 5 months, and hopefully some of the upcoming releases. But is there anything you kind of want to say before we sign off for today?
No, man, just bro, obviously just a bit of thing for you, bro. Like just keep doing what you're doing. I think in terms of content, the first 1,000 was always the hardest to get to. Then the 10,000 mark was always the hardest to get
Mm.
to. Then after that, it's just kind of that snowball effect, bro. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
5,000, I wanna congratulate you. Um, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Getting in guests, even if like, you know, is someone you've never spoken to before, but people may know about, or vice versa. It could be just your mate and stuff. Just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, in terms of my content, bro, just obviously, guys, just tune into the live stream if you can. The podcast with Prozac and Scott, Tripled Up podcast with, it's a tricky one. We've hit 200 episodes, but me and Prozac have only joined, I think, the last 15 episodes, I think it was. It was like a rebrand and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're working on the 200th episodes. We've got some content at Laces Out, which is a sneaker festival in Liverpool. That should be out soon. Well, once obviously the sneakers festival's finished. And yeah, man, I just hope Nike slows down with the releases, bro. That's all I hope, because it's been a long year. Hopefully we can do this again and wrap up maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Sooner, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Just what I would say, don't get into New Balance then if you wanna keep your wallet sane. Because if you're like me and you're into like 95s and SBs and New Balance, like I'm feeling like I'm having to pick and choose between, you know, favorite children. You know, just like, but also I feel like that's something that I enjoy is variety, like, you know, keeping, and you can kind of see that, I suppose, with some of my like weekly like rotations. Like I try and keep it pretty spicy when it comes to what I'm wearing, when it comes to, you know, colors or different brands and all that sort of stuff. I'm always excited about new brands as well. But yeah, and new silhouettes as well, like the New Balance 2000, which we didn't even speak about. I don't know if you've seen any photos of those. Almost like this.
The 2010s?
No. So the New Balance 2000, it's basically coming out in June 14th. If you want to quickly Google that one, I'll throw a photo up in post. But man, this shoe is one that I'm super excited about because it's got full length Absorb technology, which usually Absorb has just been on the back heel tab of a lot of shoes. These ones don't have, like that 990 V6 don't have any Absorb, but you've seen photos of them, and it's full length Absorb, looking like a Nike Scorpion shoe, and they're wild. I think that, man, these are going to be a banger, and I'm super excited to try and get a pair and review them and shoot some content for those. So don't get into New Balance if you want to keep your wallet sane. But anyway, I wanted to thank everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Like we said, just hit 5,000 subscribers. So thank you everybody for watching. Really excited to continue to chat to Erkin and have his voice and opinions and his wealth of knowledge when it comes to sneakers on this channel. Really do appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Have a good day.